Hello, welcome to the Material Talk podcast to Ludvig Isaksen. And Ludvig is the commercial director and co-founder of Fine Chaos. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, my name is Ludvig. It's completely correct. I am the co-founder of this. Using the title commercial director is such a formalized title. I mean, we're just maybe 7 people really working hard for this kind of dream here. So it's not a huge team yet. I started out as commercial and art director, which is an even more formal title. And I think kind of that process there is actually super interesting because, you get to have these huge names and whatever, but in reality, it's all about what you do. And for us in Fine Chaos, that's the most important thing is, what we do and what we make people feel.
Yeah.
So in short, that's our brand. It's Fine Chaos that started almost 5 years ago. And the entire idea in this is that we want to create something deeper than quality, something beyond just product.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you're achieving that, I'd say. I want to hear a little bit more about your recent success. I'm interested in the Asian side, but what are some of the highlights of your past month? We were just speaking off camera about your travels.
Yeah.
What has been a highlight and maybe a challenge that you faced
Well, there's
recently?
always a lot of challenges because everything is progressing and also we're learning a lot as we continue in this journey. Highlight definitely came yesterday when we officialized our partnership with Yu-Gi-Oh!
Wow. Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Of course.
Yeah, the anime and the card game.
Yeah.
So that's been something we've been looking forward to releasing for a very long time. Or not releasing, but officializing, announcing.
Yeah.
And I'm not really allowed to say too much about it yet. So that's happening now.
Fantastic.
And it's going to be really, really exciting.
Yeah, fantastic. And before we get too far down the road with Fine Chaos, I want to ask you, what did you study and how did you end up in your role with the long titles? How did you become one of 7 at Fine Chaos, making people feel things?
It's actually super interesting, and that's why I mentioned the titles because it's such a weird thing. So for me, I started in high school, in gymnasium. I was 18 when I texted Mark Møllerskov, who's our creative director, and he had just done an exchange at London Culture Fashion. He'd been interning with Hen Copenhagen, and was soon about to graduate from KEA in Copenhagen.
Okay.
And of all platforms, people always laugh when I say this, on LinkedIn.
Okay. LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn.
Yeah, well, it works. But it's just we come from something that's so creative, and people really usually are surprised when they hear such a business platform for that.
It's true because Finecast as a brand, it's focused on youth. It's so like streetwear and I don't know how to say it, edgy, I guess is a good way to and creative. And yeah, LinkedIn is like the opposite of that. No shade to LinkedIn, but sorry, it is.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah. So essentially, when I was in second G, it was called, in gymnasium, so like second out of 3 grades you have there in the high school in Denmark, I texted him and was like, hey, I really, really want to become a fashion designer myself. I've done a lot of sewing since I've been very small, and I would love to learn from you. Literally, I looked back at the message like 2 days ago. It's so interesting to see. And the teaser in this is that dream has been completely crushed. I do not do any fashion design at all.
That's so funny.
But the entire journey for me has been so formative. So I started with Mark. We met for like backtracking here. I texted him. He replied, "Sure, let's meet for coffee." And then we got 2 cups of coffee and then a kebab. And then I think it was like the week after, I started sewing with him for a special collection. And then for half a year after that, it kind of progressed and we did more and more together. And then he went full time into this idea that he had. It was a proof of concept back then, Fine Chaos, with a different logo, different name. Very different name, very different vibe in general. Like the logo font was literally called "I Hate Comic Sans." So
Oh my gosh.
very, very different.
What was the name? Can you tell us? Or is
No,
that?
it was actually Fine Chaos exclamation mark.
Okay.
So it's still the same name,
Yeah.
but the meaning had not fully shaped yet. So he'd created the concept from a painting he made, I think while in London, where he wrote, after making like kind of messy. I don't know how to explain it, but like kind of a messy character here with very very edgy lines, and then writing "It's a fine chaos," and then this depicted how he lived through his life, basically. So always in this chaos that he was in, but somehow being able to find like his way through it, maneuvering through that. And that's the kind of balance that we've been trying to, walk ever since. It's walking that path of something that's an oxymoron in itself, like two opposites that contradict each other that you can never really achieve. That's what we try to do in every regard.
So cool. That's really cool. I love a good backstory. Like,
yeah. But so that was the idea that I tapped into back then. And then when he went full time, I was offered to become part of it in terms of getting a small ownership. And then some more happened. Then I invested into it, and then a lot more happened. I invested some more into it, together with him and a few other partners as well. And basically, the short version is I went from fashion design to graphic design to social media to e-commerce, and now e-commerce / wholesale. Which is why I'm putting out the titles, because none of that makes sense. Because it's really about what you do, and I've been in every single aspect of this brand here. 20%.
Yeah, no, I get it. And that's what it's like to be a founder, I guess. And do you miss the design part? I guess you're still sort of part of it in a small way because you probably oversee some of it. Do you wish to go back, or are you super happy with where you've evolved to?
Actually not. No, I don't wish to go back. Because I've got I figured out what I really liked in the fashion design part. I did love the actual making garments.
Yeah.
But what I really love about it is creating something. And what I love even more now, as I've developed myself a lot, is working with talented people that are way better at stuff than I am. So no, the answer is not at all. But I get this kind of need fulfilled a lot by working with some very ambitious, very creative profiles here in our team that I'm very proud to work with.
Yeah, it's so true that you don't want to go back once you've seen your kind of your evolution. I suppose you've probably grown so much as a person and as a creative, and Material Talk is a fashion tech magazine, but sometimes we're more fashion, sometimes we're more tech, and I just see with the tech side there is so much growth. People start off as one thing, but then by the end there's something completely different, and that role has never been defined, kind of like your role. I think it's common maybe in other sectors, but in fashion I don't know how many of you are out there. Maybe there are, but to me it sounds like you've carved out this role pretty much for yourself, which is very cool.
That's a process of redefining it, at least.
Yeah, exactly. You define your own roles, and that leads me on to my next question. I want to ask you, what would you say to somebody who is like you, maybe wants to go into fashion somehow, designing, or even social media, e-commerce? What would you tell somebody in your position?
Don't do it for the money.
Yeah, don't do it for the money.
It's a really tough industry.
Yeah, it is.
You know why you want to do it, first and foremost.
Yeah.
We started as a passion project. Now it's actually become a company. And it's been a lot of work to get to this point, and it's still a lot of work. And we're still, all of us, including myself, underpaid because we all believe in our baby, in the idea they want to build for the future. No, what I want to say is, someone who is considering getting into it, be prepared for it to take time. I mean, we had some really high ambitions off the get-go, and we've been disappointed many times. But it's really been a journey for us. Kind of like my entire, everything I know now, everything I have built up has just been through trying, basically. So I'm always saying this is the stupidest thing, but it's my method of learning the past 5 years has literally just been an iterative process of figuring out what we need to do, then fucking up and not being able to do it properly, and then just being super stubborn about it and trying it again, and then just continuing that cycle until now I know what I'm doing.
Okay, that's great, because some people I'd say would change the course. So if something fails, you're like, oh, okay, now I know I'm going to do it differently. That's a cool approach to be like, no, I know what I want to do and I'm going to do it.
No, sometimes when you make the mistake, you also figure out that's probably a bad idea, but then we don't do it again. No, but it's a really hard industry, and it's a lot of stuff you need to know that's not really that you're not told. I think
Yeah.
probably my number one advice would be find someone that you trust in to do it with. 'Cause otherwise, it's going to be really tough and it's going to be quite lonely, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas we're a small team, but we're actually a really, really big team beyond this, because we would be nothing without all the people contributing to what Feldner-Busztin is through this huge community that we've somehow been able to build and make some people believe in what we want to do, which is
Yeah.
crazy for me.
Yeah, I think it's what you said, it's the way you make people feel, and that's not an easy thing to do. I've seen that. I've seen lots of brands, see a lot of people trying to do what you do and fail. So it's really cool what you've achieved. And I'm not sure if this is something you want to speak about, but I know that Copenhagen and the fashion scene, they've set the rules for the sustainability requirements. And you were part of Copenhagen Fashion Week, you are part of it still. Was it easy to meet those requirements? And is sustainability something you take into consideration when you're designing? What's your stance on sustainability? And
Yeah.
it's a tough one for the industry, because a lot of brands don't really want to speak about it because it's so tough.
Yeah, it's a super, super relevant question. So let me start off here by prefacing. I was once at a talk at SIF. SIF is one of our really close partners, Copenhagen International Fashion Fair,
Yeah.
about sustainability, where they said, well, as soon as you start making clothing, you're no longer sustainable, because there is enough clothing. There is enough out there already in the market. So it's also a lot about, not just saying we use organic cotton or we use monofibers, but it's about a lot more aspects to it than that. First and foremost, it's about creating also some credibility to it, because there's been a lot of greenwashing here in the industry, in everywhere, including Copenhagen. And so the first thing we say about ourselves is that we're not sustainable. In fact, no brand is. So it's about taking a look back at the measures, like what can we actually do? So we work with certified suppliers, with certified fabrics. We use monofibers and organic cottons, but we see that as more of a necessity than a marketing standpoint. And then what we need to do is not just sell a t-shirt for being sustainable. We need to sell someone on an idea that they want to wear over and over again. And as a necessity, have something which is high quality, lasts a long time, is made with the right measures. And then the idea is that they should want to wear this more times than just exchanging it with some fast fashion item.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Make clothing. So we are also part of the problem. You were part of our SS24 show. You saw that. And for that runway, we had done a lot of upcycling from Frelsens Hær, so one of our partners. And it's one of like a charity organization, kind of like Red Cross. And so we'd actually been out at their facility to pick out a lot of clothing that we could use for upcycling. And I remember I was at their, they have a big process of first they go into the shop here, then they go into a big warehouse, and then after it's not bought like 2 times, it goes into another thing for processing, right? All the really unwanted pieces.
Right.
And I was just walking on top piles of clothing, which they're trying really, really good to manage. But there's just the masses of clothing, and I was literally walking on top of it, like 5 meters into the air almost. It's like there is so much, and this is nothing. But it's just the idea of actually seeing it in person. It does something to one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm shocked by the pictures, and like you said, when you're in person, you can feel it. It's tangible, and that's what fashion is. Yeah. I totally get that, and it's hard because fine chaos is important to exist. Like what you're building, it is important, and then when you feel that you shouldn't even exist, that's also hard. It's hard to reconcile. But I think you're doing the best thing that you can. This is your creative outlet, and we all have to wear clothes. And if more brands just thought a bit like you, I think the fashion industry in the world would be a much better place.
Maybe. Let's do at least, right? But but we're really trying to always get better on this. We also recognize our flaws. We have a lot of things that we're trying to implement, that we are implementing, that we already have for sustainability. We're not there yet at all. And in fact, we're still a relatively small brand. And it's difficult as a small brand to integrate many of these measures. I would not say that the regulations that are imposed upon you as a brand are the reason that you change, because there is going to be many ways that you could get around those. And I think that's heightened too much. I think it's much more about the individual brand, what they do, rather than some huge poetic thing about we're changing the entire scene by saying this and this. You don't look. That's like something you send for a newspaper article. It looks good in the headlines, but once you get into it, once you see what's going on in the back, there's so much stuff that just completely violates what you're trying to achieve by those regulations.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to start somewhere. But yeah, there's a lot more. I think in general, the customer needs to be more educated on the brands. That's something that we're trying to do a lot, and we need to do more of. Make people understand why they should buy it, what it should be, and that's why we start out with saying also we're not sustainable yet, but we'd like to tell you about what we are doing, what we want to do, and why this is worth it for some people at least.
Yeah, for sure. It works both ways. I mean, that's why we exist as a publication or, a media outlet, is to really not educate, not shame, just be like, okay, maybe you don't know about this. Maybe you don't know about this brand, or you don't know about why you should buy secondhand. There's no negative, there should be no negative connotation to sustainability or buying sustainably. And you'll be surprised. A lot of people, young people, they still think that buying secondhand is not what you should do, because maybe it's a certain stigma. Maybe like they think only a certain type of person buys secondhand, and I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be a hippie either, but it's not like that. So I'm super inspired when I hear brands like yours speaking about not greenwashing, educating the consumer, and putting in the work where you can. It's not a light switch, so
no,
yeah, it's very admirable, to be real, because you do get some people who are like, we're completely green and we're just upcycling everything and everything's perfect, and you're like,
no.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Also, because then there's the question, like, okay, right, you've got all these amazing things going on in your production, you have all the right fabrics, and then what? What about all the other aspects of the brand? How do you actually use that? Are you actually sustainable in any other aspects than what you brand yourself as?
Yeah.
For us, it's about the entire journey of like our customers. So also we have, if you go to our website, you'll see on the front page, you'll see 3 core values as well, is how we help our customers treat their products. So if you come into our store, which is right next to where I'm sitting, you buy something and it breaks, which it does with clothing. You wear it, right? It's made to be worn.
Yeah.
Then you write us an email, or you join our Discord server community channel. You write us there, or come back to the store, hand it in, and we will do what we can in our atelier to prepare it for you. So it's about the longevity of it.
Yeah, it's about making that connection between the person and your clothing. Somebody who goes into your store and feels like, wow, this is such a tailored experience, pun intended. This piece, I want to wear it, I want to pass it down to, I don't know, my loved one.
We do literally tailor it in the store as well.
Even better.
So for example, if you have something and it doesn't fit, then we offer to sew it up for you or sew it in. So it actually, again, is something that you want to wear over and over, instead of just one off, discard, whatever. Next.
Yeah. I heard such a scary thing is that Gen Z has never actually known anything other than polyester. So I know polyester is like, maybe some of your clothes have polyester, I'm not sure, that's okay. But they have never known a garment like the real touch of like a cotton or even recycled cotton, anything. So they just think it's normal to wear things that are, plastic, synthetic, exactly. And I think it was some very like 90 something percent. I have to check that stat, but I can believe it that, young people just don't know the quality that, maybe the generation before ours has had. And that's very sad to me. They don't even know.
Yeah. I think a lot of people only have been used to knowing like the mixed fabrics. That's much cheap in production, where you don't get something that's fully either cotton or fully polyester, or it's going to be mixed of like maybe 7 different fabrics to create that. And then what that does is that you cannot recycle it after.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic for a different day.
We need to get our production head of production in over because they much more educated than I am on this.
It's a complicated topic for sure, the recycling. But there's I'm based in the Netherlands, and there's one of the factories is here, and I've spoken to one of the CEOs, and it's a mission. It's kind of like you. It's like they're not doing it for the money; they're doing it for passion because it's a tricky thing to do. But back to Fine Chaos. I'm wondering, would you take me around the store?
So basically, now I'm out on the street here at Møllergade.
Oh wow,
Which is here in the very cutesy Copenhagen.
so beautiful.
Here you've got the store like this.
Wow.
Wow, it's difficult to film with the computer like this.
Sorry.
No, you get. You come in here. That's basically the store here. We've got the Tone, our designer. We've got Tobias here. Big part of our brand as well. And then yeah, it's kind of like this.
That's so cool.
I'm so sorry for exposing you guys. They look cute, right? Though.
They do.
Yeah. So this is our store. This is where we spent a lot of time. We've actually got here in the back as well. I think you can hear the banging. We've got William. Say hi, Will. He's making jewelry for us right now.
Oh,
We do this
amazing.
kind of stuff here in house. Here.
That's so cool. Is that a new thing, or are you really selling jewelry?
Yeah, it's a new thing for us, the jewelry. Something we've not done as much before.
Cool.
So we're really working on creating. I want to show you something here though. Just gonna borrow a bit of your table to 1 second. No, it's okay. No, Norway Cup is great. So you got in here at the store, right? And we actually, until a few months ago, right here, we used to have a huge curtain rack where they got curtains. And then when you entered the store through the door over here, you would come in, you'd see the items, everything we had in the store, right? It looked very different. It was not as all wide and fine and clean. It was much more messy because on this side,
Chaos.
it was our atelier. So you'd come in and you'd see right here, Mark sitting and working on our designs or creative direction, a lot of different stuff. You see maybe Tune sitting here sewing. On this wall we have all of our prototypes for wholesale. All this stuff. So it's very tiny back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we used to have this kind of process. And that's something that was really interesting for us because from the beginning we've always been very physical in our experience in everything that we do. And honestly, everything we like do digitally is something we've had to learn. But it's always been about the physical experience first and foremost. And so getting the store here was kind of a bold move for us because it was during COVID, or like so after COVID. So it was like 2.5 years ago. So after COVID, but the economy is quite fucked, to put it mildly. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear here.
You can.
It's quite bad. And we were like trying to shake it. Will this make sense or not? A lot of other brands were shutting down their stores. But we managed to kind of maneuver around this because we were not selling a product. We were selling an experience. You come in, you see the atelier, you meet the designers. You hear me talk for way too long about all the random shit that we do. We've got a vinyl record on the wall as well. You meet the brand. You don't just see the clothing.
Exactly. And you've taken this experience overseas now. So have you got another store in Seoul? Okay, you have to educate me on this. I know I'm watching the travels, but I'm not sure where you've actually got another physical store.
So this is our flagship store. This is our own.
Yes.
And then my main operational area is our wholesale. So traveling for the different markets, for Paris Fashion Week, Copenhagen Fashion Week, so on and so forth, to go out and meet with our new stockists. So the stores in Seoul, for example, or the ones we have in East Asia in general, that's also something that we closed down during Paris, for example. And then it's different stores around the world that have their own company, but then they stock us.
Got you.
But the really big difference here is that we don't see this as just a customer-client relationship. We see it much more as a partnership in total. Something that we build upon for a long time. So we're not looking just to, from season to season, in terms of wholesale and amount of stores, just to boom off, because then eventually what will happen is you go down again, right?
Yeah.
Just keep this really controlled. We're looking to always make our pieces limited. So it's not something that just loses value in all aspects, right? So the stores that we have is, for example, in Seoul, one of our oldest stores that we did the pop-up with recently. It's called Opener, one of our really close partners, and they sell to a lot of stylists. So through those, we get many K-pop placements, for example.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And that helps us kind of feed into some new stores. So now we're located for next season in Taipei. We're located in Tokyo. We are in Hangzhou, potentially Shanghai. Let's see. We are going to be in Chengdu. We are going to be in Seoul, and yeah, so a lot of places. So a lot is going on here in general towards something which is more our market. Because to be honest, the clothing that we make in Copenhagen here, it's really not very Scandi style.
No, it's bold. It's punk.
It's
what
latex clothing to a Scandi customer. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, exactly. So I can see how you have a real appeal to the Asian market where they're not afraid to dress. I guess bold is the word I keep coming back to, but how would you describe the brand in 2 words or 3 words?
Something you shouldn't expect. Probably, and that's probably not the answer you're looking for. But that's
No, that's fine.
If you want to put some adjectives on it, it's always quite difficult because how do you take something which is a concept in so many different aspects into just a few adjectives?
Yeah.
But we come from the underground scene here in Copenhagen. It's our first collaboration we ever did. Was a vinyl record.
Yeah.
We have it on our wall. It was a collab with a Danish rave club, and we did that as a non-profit project. The vinyl. I'm going to be honest. It was non-profit for all parties, but we just really wanted to create something here. And then we took references from the auditive landscape here and built this into our collections to make it a holistic experience, basically. And that is the least explorative storytelling we've ever done in any collection.
Oh, wow. It's really special. I'll say that having been to a show, you deserve all the hype, and I'm really wanting to see the brand just grow and grow. Not like you said everywhere, because there's a limited quality to it. Something exclusive. It's weird because it's exclusive but also accessible. I feel like
we're looking to be inclusive.
Inclusive, yeah.
To nitpick who can get it, but we're looking to make it something that not everyone has, which is a funny balance to walk here. But we don't want to say it's only for the VIPs, it's only for this audience. We really want to build up this kind of community aspect, which is a word that I've kind of grown to hate because it's so overused nowadays. But it's what we come from. It's doing events every month, parties. Parties in our store. We've had, on 40 square meters, we've had 300 people. A few months ago, our flagship relaunch. We've had over 700 come to our Copenhagen Fashion Week parties at Hangan. That we do these events here every 2 months or so.
Yeah.
So it's about the people. Now we're trying to do this digitally. We have our community channel. We're trying to grow this digitally now.
Yeah.
Physical experience. But how do you take this to another scape? What if you're in another country, right? How can you be part of this? So we tried to reestablish our community online. First, I did that through email marketing. That did not work because it's still me communicating to the masses. It's one to many, right? We need to create that where everyone connects and where people can speak freely about, in a society almost. So that's what we named it. We named this our Fine Care Society, and we've used Discord as a gaming platform with different channels where people can join this. And we launched this just in the beginning of the year with 250 members. And we're planning to do a lot more on this to kind of create this experience of being in a society together with people you know, virtually.
Yeah, I think it works well. I think Discord is the place to be. From what I've seen in the research, you feel part of it. There are a lot of messages. It is kind of hard to navigate. I'm on a few Discord channels. You just have to keep being authentic. I think that's the main thing, and be accessible. Yeah, I love it. I think it's a really good play. Thank you so much. This has been really informative. And like I said, we at Material Talk are huge fans. So
thank you very much.
Please keep it up. Thank you.